Welcome back, everyone, to the Masters Tour Las Vegas. Ike has stepped aside, and TJ said, you know what, he's doing too good of a job. Don't want him to take yet another caster career away. We already had Derek Brown be replaced by Gallon.
Yep.
That's right.
And who knows who's next on the chopping block, Dan?
That's right. We got to look right behind us.
Yeah.
Every player here, apparently, will be gunning for our jobs eventually because when they drop 0-4, they got to have something to do.
Yep.
All right, well, coming up next, we got Hypebeast versus Seiko. We have a Mech Hunter making an appearance. Mech Hunter, a deck that's been very popular on ladder, and yet it's kind of appropriate that this is called Hypebeast.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of hype behind Mech Hunter, and yet it is the worst performing archetype in Grandmasters at a whopping 0-10, I believe, or maybe 0-12.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty atrocious based off Grandmaster stats. And it's largely because I feel like Mech Hunter's game plan falls apart once it goes into Specialist because you can tech really hard to beat it.
Yeah.
But that's, of course, just my personal preference. I think that it's really cool that Bomb Hunter exists. You know, you have Blue Master Flark, you have Explodinator to put all this damage, you have some good damage even through things like War Gear and the missile launcher for Magnetize. But what starts getting interesting is the tertiary deck, I think, in my opinion, with like Cyber Tech Chip, 9 Lives Mechanical Whelp. Have you had a lot of success playing Mech Hunter or success against it?
Yeah, I think I was on the Cyber Tech Chip hype train very early on in the Mech Hunter days. I think we even talked about it on Grandmasters a little bit. I may have even went so far as to say it was the future of Mech Hunter. And after a lot of testing, it wasn't great in a lot of the fast matchups, but against Warriors specifically, it was fantastic. Just having reload, being able to keep magnetizing and keep having threats to put on board worked out well. And Hypebeast, in the next game that we're going to see, will be playing that Cyber Tech Chip from his tertiary deck. And Seiko, I believe, is on his primary. For the game that we are going to watch.
It's interesting to note that he has things like Big Game Hunter and Super Collider, which in theory would be good against the mechanical whelps and all of the mechanical dragons that would come out of it.
Yeah.
However, Seiko choosing to go with his primary deck, just sticking to what Warrior is good at. I like that Hypebeast also dresses like a Hypebeast. Actually, just makes total sense now why it's called that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And we do want to point out that the scores are wrong on the screen. It is Seiko who has a 1-0 lead over Hypebeast instead of the other way around. So Seiko did manage to take game 1. So apologies for that confusion. I don't think we'll be able to get it fixed. So,
we will get it fixed.
We will get it fixed.
I promise you that I will fix it.
Dan, get back there right now and fix it.
Okay. Hypebeast with 3 choices. And they all have difference in opinion on what you want to do. Spider Bomb is more of like a removal game plan. Mechanical Whelp is a long-term game plan. And based off the way things are panning out here, I feel like Hypebeast may actually have wanted the Spider Bomb, given that if he knew what was going on, because it feels like he doesn't have anything to play early. I mean, he has Venomizer and Missile Launcher, the Dream combo.
Yeah, but how effective is that against Warrior?
Yeah, Warrior that's curving out.
Yeah, Warrior that's curving out, because a lot of times the minions that they're playing early game will have already done their damage, so to speak, before Venomizer plus Missile Launcher even becomes a potential threat. And Snip Snap here can come down on one of these Eternium Rovers, allow Seiko to get some VTs.
Yeah, some value traits for people who don't know all the TJ-isms.
That's a Rosti-ism. AVT, Dan.
Calls it VT.
Always value trade. You didn't watch that video? We only played it 100 times.
AVT, always value trade. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Surprised you didn't recognize that right away.
It's been a while since I've heard the musings of our Lord and Savior, Rosti Elkin.
This pressure's starting to pile up a little bit.
Yes, it's pretty reasonable for Seiko to just go for the removal plan here. He's got a Wrench Caliber, which seems pretty solid to me.
Yep. Dynomatic, not great in the matchup. Not too many targets for it outside of Harrison Jones, Fireworks Tech. And that's pretty much it. And Boommaster Flark.
Yeah. Which, that's kind of a sizable thing to snipe. But
Yeah.
I like that Seiko's going for this game plan of clearing the mechs. That's how Mech Hunter sneaks up on you. Is pretty much just that, which is having mechs to constantly magnetize and capitalize on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in this position, Hypebeast, does he want to use his war gear, or does he want to piece together certain removal? Or sorry, certain combos like Snip Snap and Fireworks Tech instead.
Yeah. Snip Snap and Fireworks Tech is a little bit weak to Warpath. There are 2 Warpaths in Seiko's deck.
Yeah. Your opponent also has used their Snip Snap too, so Warpath for them would also be a double-edged sword in the same way.
Yeah, true. So maybe that is the play. Force Seiko, if he wants to Warpath here, he'd have to give up his own board as well in order to do so.
Yeah, I think that's fairly clever. Ends up picking the VT, Woo. As all the cool kids are calling it.
Love me some VTs, Dan.
Seiko has Shield Slam conveniently in his hand to remove the 4/4. Can also dig for options with Shield Block first, but I don't know how much that changes his plays. I think if I'm Seiko, though, I would consider Shield Block because I think my hand needs to improve a lot. Dynamatic here is okay as well. Like, you could play Dynamatic and trade on the low mech minions and Shield Slam the 4/4. I think that coming up on 6, you are concerned about things like Missile Launcher and the Whelps and how you're going to answer them. In which case, you might want to keep the Shield Slam. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but then yeah, I guess you do have Shield Block to hold on to if you absolutely need armor.
The more I look at it, the more I think I don't mind the Dynamatic in this spot because it does kill off the 2/1, which might conveniently challenge some of your minions. Going for a brawl.
Okay.
Wow.
He does have the Snip Snap magnetized onto this Eternium Rover, so regardless of the outcome of this brawl, he will be left with the board, and Hypebeast will be left with nothing because of the Wrench Caliber swing. So.
Wow, yeah, like, when I look at that, I think you have 1 brawl in the deck, and you know that your opponent is going to be playing things like the Mechanical Whelp with a bunch of 7/7s. That's scary to me.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is the kind of stuff that makes Seiko, like, when he spots it, fix the score, by the way, when he spots these plays, it's always one of those things where, like, I'm always just so floored because it was the last option that I was considering.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially to show his credit, like, why he's able to figure out game plans and win when a lot of players can't. And players feel like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. It's like, well, you could have done a play that you weren't considering whatsoever.
Yeah, that you wrote off immediately because you thought it wasn't the correct line.
Right. Because, like, conceptually, if they're playing a mech deck that has a bunch of death rattles that builds a big board, you would want a definitive answer for when they inevitably do that. And right now, it looks kind of silly. So, what now? Seiko picks up Town Crier, which would pull either the Militia Commander or the Ziliax.
Ziliax would be very good.
But this is kind of a moot point, right? The Militia Commander killing the Mechanical Whelp still pulls out a 7/7.
Defend the gate.
But it's important to kill it off because you stop Fireworks Tech and other ways to activate Death Rattle. And Hypebeast looks like it's just starting to rack up more and more pressure.
Yeah, there is a Spellbreaker in Seiko's deck, but Hypebeast pretty much knows for a 100% certainty that Spellbreaker is not in the hand. So he can kind of feel free, unless Seiko were drawn off the top, that he can just kind of load up on 1 minion and start smacking him.
Oh, you gotta smack it!
This game probably gonna end quick unless Seiko can find something big.
Okay, Shield Block is progress because you can deal 7 damage total this turn. Militia Commander. plus Shield Slam. I mean, that's a full removal.
Yeah, it's a lot of resources though.
Does cost you a lot,
Defend the gates.
but you gotta deal with it somehow.
At least he has board, Dan. That tower car getting in there.
Everybody is dying around him, and he's just trying to ring the bell. All right. So Hypebeast is kind of stuck with some tech cards here, which actually makes it a little bit awkward, but still can start using his building blocks, like can play some of his mechs in this spot.
Yeah, Missile Launcher plus Venomizer is still tough to deal with. He's seen both Militia Commanders and both Shield Slams. So Seiko's ability to deal with this Missile Launcher Venomizer from hand is, the options are very limited. And it also means that Seiko can't try and develop onto the board to contest it, because it'll just get killed by the effect the following turn. So it actually makes it really awkward for Seiko to try and kill this.
Oh, you were saying?
Okay, well, that helps a lot.
Oh my goodness. That's a big deal, TJ. Hypebeast just invested 2 of his cards and died for half of a card from Seiko.
And double Galvanizer over the last 2 turns, not great pickups.
Oh my, wow.
Where's the Cybertech chip when you need it? Or the 9 lives, or anything.
I mean, that was a very specific combination from Hypebeast. Sorry, from Seiko that would take down the Missile Launcher and the Venomizer. But now Hypebeast is in a really weird spot, because anything that he plays is going to get is very vulnerable to the 6/6.
Yeah.
And all the pressure that he's spent mounting goes back the other way. And now Hypebeast is going to play Leroy in order to win back the board. But the damage has been done. Seiko's already gained back full life. The nice caveat to that is Seiko's out of cards. So Seiko has to draw something here.
Can draw Blastmaster Boom, Dr. Boomad Genius.
Yep.
Omega Assembly would be fantastic in this position.
Oh.
There you go. Whew. Security Rover and Safeguard, both very good defensive tools.
Right.
Honestly, at this point, I'd take more aggressive tools just because Hypebeast is out of stuff as well. There's a couple bombs in the deck, so... Oh, I can Warpath too. If he wants. It may be better just to isolate the Galvanizer. But looks like he's just going to cash in right away.
Yeah, I like improving his board presence here. It makes sense to me. Spider Bomb with the Zilliax. So you know that there's 2 mechs remaining from the Omega Assembly. Would your opponent have played something like Omega Devastator? Probably not. So
No.
Hypebeast might feel like he would rather piece things together instead of magnetize it. No, he probably still magnetize it because it's a 5 attack minion, which means that it challenges the 2/5.
Yeah, if you don't magnetize it here, you trade over the 2/3, and then Security Rover gets the security bot for free, and then he essentially negates the effect of the...
I was like half expecting a Spellbreaker draw off the top. But Seiko can still introduce roadblocks, right? Safeguard here, like you're talking about. Still plenty.
Yeah, Safeguard plus Unpowered Steambot. Unpowered Steambot is basically just fodder for the Spider Bomb at that point to try and keep the Security Rover alive.
It's true. Unpowered Steambot, just a very good base to magnetize off of to just give a bunch of other stats on there.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's just stuff. Here's one thing that I always feel very frustrated by when I play Mech Hunter is that you just struggle when you're low on card draw. Like Ursatron here is good, but it could very easily just draw something that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
9 lives is actually the most important card here. Also, here's another thing to it, is that if you're going for the 9 lives package, I sometimes like would much rather have... Oh! Oof. Oh, hold on.
Oof. That is good.
That's devastating.
And display the Harrison too. No weapons in the deck. Might as well just get that 5-4 on board.
Okay, Hypebeast is too far behind on tempo. And without that Venomizer and Missile Launcher that he played a lot earlier, I mean, not that he'd be saving it to this point, but
Yeah.
that's the way the Mech Hunter deck comes back in.
Yeah.
Seiko trades, doesn't want to give Hypebeast any possibility for mech synergy across the board. Fireworks Tech Mechanical Whelp, I mean, that's kind of as good as it gets here.
I wonder what this does.
There's just too much stuff to chew through. Seiko could just go all face, and there's not much that Hypebeast can do about it.
And there's, I mean, even just on board, but there's also the taunt that comes out from the safeguard that puts another roadblock in the way. Still one bomb in the deck, I believe. He swung twice with Excalibur. We saw one bomb drawn.
Right. 17 power on the board. Seiko considering, like, what's the last possible card that Hypebeast could be holding for so long. There is that possibility of a second Venomizer and second Missile Launcher, which would be a complete blowout victory. So looks like he is going to trade just a little bit. The nice thing about Missile Launcher and Venomizer is that it kills Hypebeast's own minions as well.
Yep.
9 lives.
It doesn't even have, well, it doesn't have Spider Bomb because he magnetized the Spider Bomb onto the Ziliax. So it was Ziliax that died, not Spider Bomb. So it's not even in the pool.
Oh, you're right. Is that a small miss sequence? Because they're both magnetic abilities?
I think it might be, yeah. If it gets silenced, you'd rather have a 3-2 than a 2-2.
Yeah, that's just
that's very minor.
Yeah, and it's a 1-of too.
Yeah.
That's like a really small thing that pays off potentially big dividends.
Yeah.
Because if he was able to get the Spider Bomb, have it played in this position, the Spider Bomb, let's say it snipes the ideal spot of Harrison Jones, and you're able to magnetize it immediately and a trade into something else.
Yeah.
Actually, that wouldn't work because if he magnetized it, it wouldn't die because the Mechanical Whelp's too strong.
Yeah.
The point still stands, though.
Yeah.
And that's it. Seiko with a comeback victory against Mech Hunter 2-0 and improves to a 7-2 score. Repping the Grand Masters and still holding it out on his own. And I gotta say, that Brawl choice was fairly aggressive, but it stopped the pressure because he was almost at a point of dying.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't able to deal with it then, and he wasn't able to get fortunate enough to draw like the Mega Assembly, Seiko could have lost. So, yes, he was able to get pulled out by very good draws at the very end of that game. But he put himself to survive to that point with that brawl. And once again, it's like one of those things where I feel like Warrior throws away the removal so early, but it's not really throwing it away. It's actually them using it so that they can get to the good part, which is their late game.
We had talked about like Dynamatic on that turn, just to have somebody to fight for board.
Right.
If he had played that, then he would have had the Ziliax activation later on. It wouldn't have as clean of a board to be in a position where that would have mattered. Right. So,
and Hypebeast gave him very small openings.
Yes.
Very, very, very small openings. Like these are like small things that you could debate like corner case scenarios, but because they were the scenarios that popped up, ended up costing him a lot of tempo, cost him resources, which is the one thing that was going in his advantage, and then all of a sudden it started going the opposite way. And I think that's what ends up happening, and that's a round 9 victory for Seiko.
Yeah, and still at 7-2 now, going into round 10, which means still in contention for top 8. Don't really know where his tiebreakers sit at the moment, but if he wins out from here, does have a decent shot at making it through. So hope still alive for one of the best performing Grandmasters players, not only in this event, but in Grandmasters itself.
That's right. That's right. All right, so with that, we're going to take a break and get ready for round number 10. There's some exciting matches. We'll tell you all about it when we return to the Masters Tour Las Vegas.